Flushing Frenzy. This is a university professor, and this is me, totally failing to grab a poo out of the air. This poo. But how did we get here? Well, if you want to know that, go and watch the first video. But really, it's all about the Team Water campaign to raise $40 million. More on that later. For now, let's get into the game. Here we are again. We're going to play game number 2. This is Flushing Frenzy. What's your feeling on first seeing the box?
This looks like a good one. I am super confident coming off my win in toilet trouble. So
okay.
I'm 1-0 up. I'm ready to take it to 2-0.
Okay. And you can see that the first game was we related, whereas this one who related. Do you feel that might have any impact on your...
Good question. I think I'm going to be stronger in this one.
Okay.
Yeah. Come out stronger for the number 2.
Okay. Well, that's good. The rules of this one are 1, roll the die, push the plunger, and then you've got to try and grab the poo or the poop first to win points. So this is not an elimination game, this is a points gathering game.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right, well, let's give it a try. Yes, while you release. Ooh, a 3.
Okay.
Okay,
So 3 plunges.
3 plunges. You'll hear it click when it... Very nice.
Okay.
Excellent. So I put the die back in. And I got 2.
I love the tension.
Okay.
1.
Ooh.
I went for a quick one.
Yeah, you did. Quick. Here we go. So I've got a 2. Here we go. I feel like the tension is palpable.
It really is.
Here we go. Second one. Still nothing.
Is that irregular for this game? Is it?
I would have expected it. I mean, what have we had so far? What?
Have we, yeah.
5, 6, 7 or 2?
2.
Oh! Wow!
I wanted to be cooler than that.
That was fast.
Thanks.
And you covered a lot.
I know. I took you out of the game immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had no
Positioned the
chance.
body. Yeah.
I was really just protecting myself at that moment.
Look at that.
Well done. I find the teeth a bit disconcerting. How about you?
I think if I were to produce such a thing with 2, maybe. But I quite like it. I see nothing wrong with a friendly poo.
Yeah. Okay. So I've just taken out the tokens for winning. So there we are. That is your first token.
Brilliant. I kind of want to wear it as a badge of pride.
Yes, I think you should. Can toilets really save lives? That sounds kind of over the top.
I mean, the amount of people who have died because of lack of access to water, sanitation and hygiene facilities is very, very high. But equally, you know, it increases the rates of death that you get because things can spread, right? So it's a really, really critical challenge. And again, it's why it's one of the most important sustainable development goals, which is a list of things that as a global community we're hoping to move towards by 2030. And right amongst those, 6.2 for those following at home, is a goal based around ensuring everyone has access to good facilities.
All right, so maybe we'll do best of 3.
Yeah.
Excellent. And as I'm the loser, I will go first this time. 2.
2. Okay.
I don't want you to give me any chances this time, just to let you know. Not that I was giving you a chance last time. It's all to play for now.
I think this is taking territory a little bit here. I feel like this side of the toilet is my jurisdiction.
Okay, all right, fine. Okay, I mean, I suppose I don't need to hold it. What's that?
No,
I'm not
falling
falling for that one. You know, when I'm playing Flushing Frenzy, it's razor sharp focus.
Yeah, I could see. Mm-hmm.
Now,
Where do we stand on that?
well,
There was a kind of volleyball bat away.
and it nearly went out of the window, which would have been quite hilarious.
It's got to be mine. And here I am coming up with new techniques for this game already.
I don't know. I mean, I hate to disagree with you, especially as a doctor, but it does say be the first to grab it.
So you actually have to catch it.
I mean, that's how I feel. If it's
You can grab something from the floor. I'm going to fight my corner on this one.
all right. Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll give you that, and then we'll say best of 5. How about
Okay.
Why hasn't this been sorted out already? We've had toilets for ages.
I mean, part of the reason is that solving a problem like sanitation and hygiene isn't as simple as it looks. It's quite long-term work. It needs money and it needs political will. It needs people wanting to do it. So those are the challenges we face with ensuring that everyone has a toilet that they can use.
So, second token. You've got the like chimpanzee arms coming out there, haven't you?
Do you know what? No one's ever said that about me, so I appreciate that. You've got proper chimpanzee arms.
All right.
Okay.
Here we go.
This is your right?
Gotta do. All right. 3. 1, 2.
I'm not saying I'm a pro at this game, just, as I'm 2-0 up in it, I take some liberties. 1. Ooh.
Don't be teaching me all about Flushing Frenzy now, just because you won 2 out of 2. So here we go. I've just rolled a 2.
Two. That felt like a bit of a dead heat, but I mean, I was the one who grabbed it.
You were the one that grabbed it from the floor,
From the floor.
which was good. What's the smartest idea you've ever seen to help people get toilets?
I've seen lots of really good ideas from very smart people around toilets. But actually, it's not just the perfect toilet, although Japanese toilets are pretty cool. Working with people, I think, is the best thing that I've seen. Working out ways that you can engage people in conversations around using the toilet. That, for me, is the smartest solution.
Best of 7?
You want another round?
Well, I wouldn't mind, just
Okay.
just to see if I can at least grab it once. 1, 2, 3. We'll just do it quick.
Okay.
Okay. Rapid fire.
Yeah.
Flushing Frenzy. 3.
Catch that
Look at that. White
is!
knuckle
So much
catching.
tension in your hands.
Yeah. If I wanted to help, should I send someone a toilet?
I think the most important thing with a lot of these challenges is to learn more about it. Speak with people, speak with your parents, speak with your teachers, make it an issue that we talk about. That's a really important thing to do. But there's also a really cool scheme that I like called toilet twinning, which people might have heard of, where you'll see maybe your favourite restaurant or cafe has twinned their toilet with a toilet in a completely different part of the world, which they help to sponsor, which I like as an idea. And it's nice to think about that when we're using the toilet. How else is someone using the toilet somewhere else in the world right now? It would be great if we could solve all of our problems just by sending money. And there is places where money is much needed to do really important work. But it's rarely enough. And most of the time when we're trying to look at solutions to really difficult problems, it's about working with people and changing the way that we run things a bit. So it's just as much about politics as it is about money.
You are truly, truly the champion of Flushing Frenzy.
I've never been prouder. Thanks very much. What a game. Enjoyed that.
What did you think then? Educational score?
It's hard to give it more than 1,
Oh,
but I feel like this feels like a a more realistic cistern. Immediately we were talking about cistern. The fact there's a plunger, it's kind of helpful knowledge. It's a useful tool. So maybe I'll give it a 1.5.
Okay, all right, fine. And how about playability and fun?
I'm going to shock you. I'm going to give it a 4.
Wow, a 4 out of 5.
I loved it. And I normally like different sorts of games, but I really enjoyed playing it. The kind of combination of the tension and then the kind of physicality of it.
Yeah.
There was more of a payoff than Toilet Trouble, which I did enjoy. So yeah, I'm giving it a 4.
Fantastic. Well, thank you, Dr. Locke, for being in my silly video.
Thanks so much for inviting me, Mr. O.
And remember to keep reading, playing, singing, and being silly. And I'll see you in the next one.
You got the poo? I want that poo!
So, we've sprayed each other with toilet water, we've fought over flying poos, we've learnt a lot about toilets. But here's the thing, not everyone in the world has a toilet. Around the world, 1 in 10 people don't have access to clean water, and 1 in 5 don't have access to a proper toilet. That's why I'm part of Team Water, a big YouTube campaign led by Mr. Beast and Mark Rober. We're trying to raise $40 million to bring clean water to 2 million people. That's $1 to give someone clean water for a year. $1, 1 person, 1 year. So if you've laughed, learnt something, or just want to help, use the link in the description or the QR code on screen now. Or share this video with someone who needs to see a university professor fight over a plastic poo. Either way, you're helping.